Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast number 202. My name is Mistletoe, and I'm here live with the core team. Your host for tonight, as always, the one and only Mr. Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Mistletoe. And folks, welcome back to another edition of the ARK Daily Podcast. This is a beautiful Sunday all around the world. May 21st. If you're over in Asia, you're already on May 22nd. But we wish you also a fantastic morning. Thank you all for being here, for being calm, cool, collected, sailing on the ARK. And boy, has it been a nice 48 hours as we're seeing the relief rally, the comeback happen here live, folks, right before your very eyes. You're witnessing the passion of the community, the interest in the direction that the ARK is going to, the pre-seed contract, the ARK debt token, more investors coming on board. Through the Zoom presentations, we have the best of the very best presenters. As of late, we've had a new addition to the presenters team. That is our very own AJ Metz, Amanda. Shout out to Amanda. The star is rising for all of us to see it here. We've been witnessing her growth, her success, and really conveying the message of ARK in the most, I think, intelligent manner. Very confident. And we feel it, we see it in Jashan and the Crypto Badgers. We are so blessed to have so many great folks here. Crypto Fergie, Crypto Unlimited 22, they did their Saturday ArkFi live stream over there on the YouTube. That was quite fantastic. I was there for a little bit hanging out. Sean was there, Coach Brad was there. It was a bullish event. And, I mean, it's great when we see the charts doing the magic. It's all a reflection of every investor here pulling their weight and coming in and letting their voice be heard. We love the ARK. We're going to continue. We've experienced a very long period of amazing sustainability. And our goal is to get that back so we can all continue on this journey. It's a multi-year, long-term investment, folks. We understood that when we got in, and we also understand that there are hard times, there are storms out in the ocean, but we steer clear, we make it through, because we keep pushing, we keep focused. We understand what is at stake. So many dreams, hopes, financial forecasting that investors have done here. And it matters to all of us. With that, let's take a look at the state of the ARK. 5,292. Yes, 92. Our vault accounts just 8 away from the milestone of 5,300. Wallets here in the system. Liquidity on PancakeSwap, 361,284 BUSD. And yes, my friends, the ILC reserves. Your eyes are not tricking you. This is happening. Past 40 hours have been amazing. ILC on the rise, folks. 427,276 BUSD. The price of ARK at $279. We looked at the chart on yesterday's podcast, and it is bullish, amazing, showing the results. ARK price is at 617.30 ARK. Today here live, we're going to find our 168th Spark Prize winner. And we already know who the MVP is. They're going to receive 10% of the pot. Quite amazing. Nitro mode for 2 fantastic investors here. We wish every one of you luck. We're going to turn it over to our great friend here on the ARK, the hardest working man, Mr. Brett Nordine.
Alex, just before we turn it over, I just got a couple DMs saying your voice is a little bit low. Maybe turn up your mic a little bit.
Okay, is it clear or is it not clear?
It's clear. I guess it's, I'm a lot louder than your voice. Yeah.
Here we go. I think I found the issue. That should be much better.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir. Now it sounds loud and clear.
Okay, fantastic. Let's see where Brett is.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, there you are. I can see you by the crowd here today. How are you feeling? Birthday celebration yesterday. 18 holes out there on the course.
I know.
Tell us all about it. Everybody wants to know.
I'm one day older, but 1 year older as well. So, yeah, I hadn't played golf, and I don't even remember when. And it was fun. I had a good time. I have some friends who play pretty consistently, and so I think I shot a couple strokes off of the one who plays the most, like 2-3 times a week. So I didn't shoot too bad. I think I shot 13 over on 18. So I feel good about that. I think I had one birdie. I just kind of held in there. I had like 3 double bogeys. Yeah, I had 3 double bogeys, which kind of blew me up.
Yeah,
we played.
That's awesome.
We played a course here in Scottsdale. It was okay. It wasn't tough. It wasn't too difficult of a rating, and so I felt good that not playing for years, I didn't want to play a really hard course. So it was more of a links course, if that makes sense to anybody. But I know the golfers out there will understand. So yeah, I had a great birthday, and we returned some meetings today. We just got out of maybe a 2-hour call or so, Atlas, maybe more. Just going over tokenomics, and I know everybody's chomping at the bit for the light paper and the information on the pre-seed contract. We discussed yesterday a little bit that we want to make sure that our liabilities going into ArkNet, aren't going to be too excessive. We know there's about 100,000 or a little bit more than that tokens in people's wallets, and so our concern there is that we don't end up with a lot of carryover into ArkNet while we're going to be doing some benefit for ArkFi. And we do want to give ArkFi investors, because ArkFi is bootstrapping and helping to launch ArkNet. We think it's very fair to give people a equity position into ArkNet, which is what the pre-seed really is all about. It's about giving our ArkFi investors who are going to help and support ArkNet grow a chance to get in at the best possible opportunity. So we're really just making sure that we fine-tune the contract and the mechanics of all of that so that we don't carry a bunch of baggage over into ArkNet. And that's really what we're trying to do, make it the best of both worlds, where we give everybody a great opportunity, not only in ArkFi, but then also as it carries into ArkNet. So we're just fine-tuning and tweaking a few variables. And Mr. Green and one of our other advisors here, Diamond, I think came up with some great ideas. We also had Z and some others on the call as well. So we're sort of pooling those ideas, and I would say 24 hours, we're going to have that buttoned down and hopefully recommunicated and publish the tokenomics not the tokenomics, but the pre-seed contract information and the light paper information within the next day or two. I would say Monday, worst case Tuesday. Do you think that's a fair assessment, Atlas? I know we're coming off kind of fresh out of the meeting, so I don't want to misspeak, but do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. Well, no, I think the intention is clear, and we want to look after the investors and get them on board, but we have to do it in a way that is balanced, so we don't carry over, burdens into the new system. We don't want to, be crippled by decisions that we make today. So it has to be fair, I think, for everyone, and that we have the opportunity to really thrive in, ArkFi as well as ArkNet. So we're finding the balance. That's the best description, the best word I can find for it. A fair and balanced position, so that everyone gets a win and they're able to come and take part in something really powerful that we're putting together. So we thank everyone for their patience, but these are things that we've been working on this for a couple months. The contract's been ready. However, we didn't anticipate that we would have this drop in price. It's really putting, I think, some pressure on all the investors as well as the team. And we understand that you never want to make big decisions under pressure and let the situation steer you in the wrong direction. So just looking at every possible alternative and finding the most fair balance proposition, and then of course letting the investors decide, which is what it always comes down to. So I think you did a great job explaining that, and we know that the folks here are very calm. They know we're having everyone's best interests at heart, which is the most important. So thank you for that. The chart's looking really nice. Where we almost look here. Let me see if I can actually pull that up for us. If you give me a second. Here we go. I'm going to change screens for you folks. But we're seeing a nice little level developing. Thank you for your patience. There we go. Let's add the new. Where is it? There it is. All right. Mistletoe, can you see that?
I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Looking really good. So this is what we've always said about ILC and how have we enjoyed such a long run of a stable price. It's really because of the balancing. And we're seeing here 55 buy to 45 sell. So we were very, very lopsided before. That's why we had this run down. We've had a very intense day of buys yesterday. Fantastic volume at one point. I saw it was 247,000 in volume. And a lot of it's really, taking the pressure off the sales and the rally of the community and new investors buying the dip, taking advantage of the opportunity that they can witness here right in front of them. So great run up. I mean, shout out to everyone for coming in. I've gotten a lot of DMs from the investors. Hey, Atlas, I just added to my wallet. I opened another wallet. I brought my friend in, my neighbor, Coach Roberto, brought his sister in, and other investors. I mean, it's happening. It's a fantastic result, I think, what we're seeing here from folks really understanding the opportunity. And if we stretch this out, I mean, it starts looking, very similar to where we were before as we flatten it out a bit. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm not saying that this is the new floor or stopping here, or that we possibly wouldn't see a lowering again. We're letting really the market dictate, but we're seeing the sales happening, and it's gone back down to pre sell levels when we were really back up over here, where we had that nice balance. So our sales are being, nicely balanced, and our buys are also in that nice balance. So really good to see that, visually understand really what's happening. So let's continue our rally. Let's continue to wait to stack that ARK for what's coming. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to the Crypto Badgers and Coach Brad. But let's see if we can take a question or two from our community, as we want to hear from you, what questions you may have, or doubts or concerns. I've had a lot of feedback coming in, really for the past 48 hours. Folks are looking at the bond and seeing what can be done, what improvement to prevent something like this happening again. So we have some ideas, but we're going a step at a time, folks. We want to make sure that we're able to come out with the light paper and everyone can make their decision as how they want to participate in the pre-seed. So let's see if there's anybody here who has a question or a comment. Okay, folks, I think we don't have any questions at this time. So let's turn it over to you, Coach Brad.
Thank you very much, Atlas. Great podcast, great live podcast last night with Crypto Unlimited 22, yourself, Jay Vanquish, Crypto Fergie. That was really good fun. My first ever live YouTube, so that was a new experience for me. If It's a bit of a long one, but we love talking about ARK, so it's easy to do. Today we have our residency weekly alpha from the Crypto Badgers, the only video on the All Aboard that I don't personally vet myself. So it's a nice treat for me. I get to watch it with you guys and the rest of the community. And absolutely fantastic. These they're so involved with everything that goes on at the ARK. They have their finger on the pulse, as Atlas likes to say. And behind the scenes, they're very much involved as well. So 21-minute video today, all of the alpha from the last week. Let's get into it. If Max or Bitey Dips, if you guys want me to pause it at any time, just let me know and we can discuss the video, and then we can resume and we'll talk about it at the end. So here we go. Unless you guys want to introduce it yourself.
Fire away, Coach Brad.
Awesome.
A pump would be nice, but remember, there's no financial advice. Crypto Badgers.
Thanks for joining the Crypto Badgers, two degens that like to do our research. I'm Max Power, joined as always by Matt, aka by Z.
If we could turn up the volume, please.
Welcome to all of our subscribers and anyone new. We do appreciate each and every one of you. We are here each week, spoon feeding that alpha from the daily ARK podcast from the week that was. And Matt, geez, it was a big week. I'm glad we've had the full week to see it all sort of play out and just sort of take our time before doing our weekly wrap because, a little bit going on and certainly a bit different from the rest of the weeks we've had at ARK.
Yeah, indeed, Max. Needless to say, it was a particularly interesting week. There was a good old-fashioned panic sell-off last Sunday, wasn't there? We've certainly seen a few of those in our time in crypto, but I think in this case there's been a bit of PTSD, given what some people may have experienced in other projects before. But look, there was certainly a big positive with all of this. I think it did lead to a hell of a lot of people coming into the main Telegram group and also the live podcast during the week to firstly find out what had been going on and, secondly, to get educated on sort of how the system works. And I think it's sort of fair to say that many of these people had been fairly absent from the community in recent times and sort of hadn't been checking in on, what the project has been up to and checking in on their investments, sort of just going in every day and claiming their rewards. But hopefully the community is now a lot more educated on the system mechanics and also about the upcoming utilities, which will certainly feed revenue directly back to the ArkFi ecosystem.
Yeah, and I think you can certainly understand when something is, say, as rock solid as what this was in terms of price for a long time, and you get a sudden drop off. I think you can understand the concerns from people. Things do seem to have settled somewhat, and of course we'll just go into some of the events that have happened over the course of the week. If you want to check out more on the project, you can take a look at some of our earlier videos. But as we always do each week, let's look under the hood and take a look at the stats. And there has been some movement, it's fair to say.
There's been movement in the station, Max.
We've never really discussed the price before in the ArkFi Weekly, but it was $5.71 at this time last week, and it is now $2.79. So that is less, that is for sure. And that I suppose proved that once that ILC started coming down, the price had to be dropped in order to preserve the ILC reserves, and I suppose as a result, the ILC reserves are up. They were 317K last week when we recorded. They're now at 428,000. Probably also worth noting that I guess on the price that it did go down, I think to as low as $2.35. There are a few people who've I think been DCAing, looking. I think it's around the pre-sale price was around $2.50. So that's meant that people have been able to take that opportunity if they so wish. I think the ILC also, man, I think it went down to around 250k at its lowest.
Yeah,
point.
in that ballpark. Yeah, in that ballpark.
So 175 up from that point at the low. So I mean that's encouraging, and I think overall, if the system can kind of shake off, I mean, there's a lot of projects and that you sort of, I guess, were referring to earlier. But once the snowball started going down the hill, it never recovered. So if ARK is able to sort of see this storm through, it'll certainly leave it better off Whether or not, of course, we return to the price of 571 is, maybe unlikely, but who knows? We cannot predict the future. In terms of liquidity, this was at 928 and is at 359. So that is a lot lower, it's fair to say. In part due from some of the communication that was shared, I think, during the week as to one of the reasons for the price drop is quite a big sell-off of bond, which is, of course, in part the liquidity. And also, the team did mention that 300K from this pool has been taken out for the upcoming pre-seed contract launch, which is on May 26th. So that's funds that will be used to help pay rewards for those who've deposited ARK into this contract. Matt, you didn't talk about the accounts, did we? A bit less here. I mean, about 100 new accounts. Have been going more on the 200, 170 range prior to this, but that's almost 100 new accounts, really, Matt, in this situation. Not too bad. I mean,
most of those new accounts have come in the past few days. I mean, let's be honest. Earlier in the week, I mean, nobody was buying at all, so there was no new accounts. So really, we've been piling on those new accounts in the last few days.
Yeah. So what about in terms of the Spark? What's all this meant for Spark?
Well, in total for the week, Max, we had 3,882.20 ARK given away. It's pretty hard this week to give you a street value because, of course, the price was bouncing around so much. But certainly another strong week for the Spark rewards. And just on top of that figure that I just gave you there, of course, an additional 10% was given away to syndicate leaders who generated the highest daily referral value. So that was good for those people lucky enough to win those. Also worth noting, Max, given the fall in the ARK token price, if you are holding bond to be eligible for the daily Spark Awards, you may need to do a top-up of your bond and or compound some of your awards to ensure that it remains above the $250 value threshold for eligibility. So no doubt a lot of people have slipped under that. So if you want to stay eligible for the Spark Rewards, you'll need to top that up.
Yeah, of course, or buy a legacy NFT, which is
absolutely yes.
To get in.
Rather remiss of me, Max. Rather remiss of me.
10 sold this week, Matt. I believe it was 1 gold NFT and 9 silvers sold throughout the week. That's always ticking along. The Treasury Fund, which will be used to help fund future utilities, sitting at around $704,000. So that's a bit of dry powder there, Matt. That is sitting in the wings and could be used obviously for that external revenue and to build out some of the utilities in the project. And the rewards obviously continue to pay out here from the legacy NFTs each week. In terms of the 1% accounts that we track, some interesting developments here, Matt. Been around 230 accounts this week, dropped from 2% to 1%. Now, of course, and completely understandably, as the price was dropping and perhaps there was some uncertainty around investors, people are going to claim and sell more. I mean, that's completely expected and understandable. But that has meant quite a spike from going from 2 to 1%. So that was at 34% of accounts. We're at 1% last week. This is now, which obviously means that the system overall, I suppose, is paying out, has less liabilities each day. Also, 21 accounts went down to 0.5% permanently. And this is quite an increase from what we've seen generally. I mean, 1, maybe 2 new accounts going to 0.5%. So that's quite a spike and quite a noticeable one. People perhaps panicking slightly and over withdrawing, which then locks them down at that 0.5%. So do keep that in mind. And
they've gone down in the abyss, Max. They've gone down in the abyss with the crabs and crustaceans and other bottom-feeding dwellers. Not a good place to be. And just a reminder to everybody that there's simply no coming back from that position. These people will now need to open up a new wallet with fresh capital if they want to enjoy the benefits of high yield in the system. So there's certainly punishment in the system for those cabbage hands, Max.
That's right. And you can see here the ILC chart obviously dipping down and trending back up.
It's been one hell of a comeback. It really has been one hell of a comeback these last couple of days, to be honest. I mean, we've seen price appreciation. We've seen the ILC up 175K from its bottom. It really has shown that the community's dug deep and seized the opportunity to snaffle these lower prices.
Yeah, and I think it just shows it's probably an important lesson for everyone too, just that there's no guarantees of future price. I mean, it always made me feel a little nervous. We talk about steady price and understanding that it's possible that something can happen. So, this is a high return game, and with high return, you generally don't get complete steadiness for all an eternity. So in the end, that's why I think this in the end can be a positive if it can sort of fight back from here. With the community having, I suppose, learned the lesson that to not have unrealistic expectations of how things may be long into the future. But that's enough of the stats. What's been happening in terms of the roadmap development that we learned about this week, Matt?
Indeed, Max. The ARK and Fiat on-ramp are now very close to being launched. These will be supported with a lot of marketing in the coming weeks and beyond. I think it's very important for investors to realise that these products are not just designed for ArkFi investors. On the contrary, they've been designed to meet a growing appetite of global users who are, slowly being starved of Fiat onboarding and offboarding options. I mean, just in our neck of the woods, Max, this week we saw Binance closing their Fiat on-ramp and off-ramp services for Australian customers. So the old noose is certainly tightening, and this is something that we're seeing obviously play out all over the world. So the services that ArkFi will be offering are really badly needed in the space and have, superb market fit. So, I think that's something that everybody does need to keep in mind. We also now have a name for the physical Visa MasterCard debit card, which is soon to launch. This product will be known as the Terra Card. So to be clear, we have the Air Card, which is the virtual card, and the Terra Card, which will be the physical card. So just to clarify that for everyone. And Max, I think you've got some more for us on the new ArkNet privacy token.
Yes, well, the light paper is very, very close. In fact, I think it kind of is completed, but there's just some final touches and checks being put on that. We also now have a name to attach to this project.
More names, Max, more names.
Yes. Atlas stated the new decentralized privacy network will be known as ArkNet. To be clear, this network will include the decentralized VPN, the file storage, password, passkey manager products. There has been also a little more light shed on the pre-seed sale and how that will be conducted. The initial phase is going to be run around for about 5 to 10 days, and that's going to be followed by a yet determined number of weeks before it closes. There are some big incentives for depositing into that in the early phase. Firstly, depositors will get a fixed exchange rate in BUSD terms of $5 per ARK. That seems pretty decent when the current price is $2.80 sitting in your wallet. After that window, which will be around 5 to 10 days, further deposits made into the contract for the remaining part of the pre-seed round will be valued at whatever the prevailing ArkFi price is. So that's very important to know. If you deposit up front, $5. After that, it's whatever the ArkFi price is, which is currently $2.80. So, yeah, take your pick at which one of those prices you want, I suppose.
Fill your boots, Max.
Secondly, yield paid on these early phase deposits will enjoy the highest return of the entire pre-seed sale period. That yield, we believe, is likely to start around 2% in the first week or two and reduce thereafter until the sale is closed. But what we do know is that the highest yields will be upfront. And at the conclusion of this pre-seed round, the combined BUSD value of your principal deposits plus the yield you've earned is going to be exchanged dollar for dollar with the new privacy tokens. So investors can expect their privacy tokens to be vested and distributed over a 15-month period after launch. That's important to note. Those details are still to be confirmed, though, and I guess, really this is all pretty standard, I guess, Matt, when it comes to sales in crypto. You don't get into the pre-seed round and then get all your tokens at launch. So that's completely standard practice, and I guess it's better to smooth out the distribution over a period of time rather than having them all there at launch.
Yeah, indeed, Max. Also, a few other important sort of final points on this. It was stated by Brett that the public sale privacy token price will be actually 5 times higher than the price that ArkFi investors will be paying in the pre-seed round. So that's a minimum 5x for investors right there before the token even launches. So Yeah, that's very juicy indeed. And if you also consider the fact that you'll also be getting yield on your deposits throughout the pre-seed round, which Brett has sort of, loosely indicated should go reasonably close to doubling your principal balance, well then, those gains are going to be amplified, aren't they? But and then of course, when the token actually launches to the sort of general public, I mean, who knows how high the price could go? So, from my point of view, Max, I think frankly the timing looks rather tasty for a Q4 launch, as I'm sort of, and I think you're of the same opinion that sort of the latter part of this year should usher in a new bull market, given that the Bitcoin halving event will be sort of just around the corner by then. So we know that event historically anyway has been the catalyst, pardon the pun, Max, but for starting previous bull markets. Now, moving on, we can report that a lot of work has been going on in the background, refining the live Zoom presentation and the onboarding sales funnel. A great group of presenters has been assembled, and we're sort of looking to go live with these calls in the coming weeks. A reminder to syndicate leaders to look out for a banner where they're going to be able to add their referral code to that and distribute that to their communities. Any prospects that you have will be able to register for a live Zoom call on a day and time that suits them, a day that suits them. There'll be a set time, but the customizable banner should be released very soon. So be on the lookout for that. I think just in general, Max, these live Zoom calls, they're going to be absolutely fantastic in supporting syndicate leaders and sort of helping to onboard many, many more users and get right out there to the masses.
Yeah, indeed. We should also mention, given that we're wrapping up the podcast, we had the 200th this week, 200 podcasts on the bounce. As part of that, we had the ARK celebrations and giveaways, where anyone who basically put the ARK, I always struggle to say that, in their Telegram names went into the draw. And overall, there were $1,500 in BUSD given away. So congrats to all the winners. A great gesture also from the team. I think it was $500 for first place. And I think it was like a 2-hour, at least the recorded part was over a 2-hour podcast there. So good to the team, see the team getting back to their roots in the 200th and going large.
That they did.
And what about all aboard this week, Matt? What do we have?
Well, obviously the podcast took on a slightly different shape this week, as so much time was, dedicated to answering questions about events earlier in the week. However, we were still able to have a good look at some great content this week. We saw not one, but 2 videos for this week from Amanda from AJ Metz. She updated us on how well her family's been doing with their investment in ARK. And she also addressed some of the FUD surrounding the ILC and sort of clearly explained how that's all working as intended. And finally, she sort of advised people to be quite careful when hearing some of the blatant FUD and lies out there in the cryptoverse at the moment. Make sure you do get your information directly from a reliable source. Talk to your syndicate leader, visit the official Telegram group, or attend one of the daily podcasts and ask your questions. We also saw a really, really good video from Crypto Fergie. He does just bang out the content, doesn't he? He explained that the ILC has been doing a great job, and he remains super positive about the project and the upcoming utilities. He stated that he's currently stacking all his ARK rewards. He's not alone there, Max, so that he can maximise his participation in the upcoming pre-seed deposit contract for the new ARKNet token, which will be launching on Friday, May 26. Max, it's just a few days away.
Yeah, not long to go at all. And just also a reminder to everyone that the ArkFi weekly show is in article form thanks to Catalyst. You can check that out on the ArkFi Medium page. But it's time to get into the Badger wallet. Now let's take a look and see where we're at here. The principal at 4,138. Matt, we did have someone who took advantage of the dip. Because we did add one this week, a 91 ARK in referral bonus there. So
yes, I actually know that person, Max, and they've been sort of sitting on the sidelines since the events of earlier in the week and waiting for their opportunity to pounce. And I think once they saw that ILC start to head way back up in the right direction, and obviously price recovery of the token as well, I think a bit of FOMO ensued.
Lovely. Well, welcome aboard to that person. You can see here we're stacking a bit of ARK. I think this was sitting at 132 last week, so an extra 100 ARK sitting in the wallet there at the moment. So that is going to be all left to stack up and up and up as we get into that pre-seed round. So what are we, 5 days away from that now at the time of recording, maybe 6 days, and in fact at American time.
Yep.
6 days. So look, I guess we're going to probably expect to see another 100 go in there. So hopefully sitting at around 330 to 300.
And obviously that'll just be our initial deposit into that contract, because obviously for the duration of the sale, we'll also be making sort of daily or bi-daily sort of deposits into that contract as well. So yeah, obviously we'll deposit with a bit of a lump sum and then dribble more in as the pre-seed round unfolds.
Yeah, and it's not to say that you have to do this. It's just what we're choosing to do. And there may be people, obviously we're in the fortunate position of having got our ROI back. Maybe not everyone's in the same boat, doesn't feel as though they want to wait, a period of time. That's understandable. But I think when you look, what our decision is based on the information available, that with the $5 price being offered on the ARK tokens into the deposit contract, that's what makes sense for us. But, can completely understand someone choosing to go the other way as well. So, yeah, that is where we are at. And a reminder that the daily podcast starts at 4:00 EST every single day. So, look, if you do have any questions, and there have been plenty over the last few weeks, do make sure that you tune in, hear what the team has to say, and use it as an opportunity to, if you've got questions around the transparency or anything else, get in there and ask. They're there every day. And in fact, I think did a few extra sessions in an effort to sort of allay the concerns of people as things kind of a bit of volatility crept in over the last week. So 4:00 every single day for the daily podcast.
Sounds good, Max. It's just sort of in closing, I guess, it's very, very encouraging over these past few days to have seen so many fresh new buyers come in, the community pulling together, the ILC, adding such a huge amount.
Oh, no.
I
They cut it again.
Yeah, the bot, Max or Buys Your Dips, was that near the end of the video? Because the bot tends to cut videos off at the end for some reason.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Yeah, that's all good.
Okay. Yeah, we need to address that. That's happened a few times. Usually it's like the last 10 to 15 seconds, so I don't know how long the video had left. But, the bot doesn't like the last 15 seconds of videos for some reason.
But we wanted the song. We always want to hear the song.
I wanted the song, yeah.
I actually forgot to put it on this week, so that's probably why it stopped, because it actually wasn't long to go. We didn't have the buffer of the song today. So
okay. I see. Yeah. Okay. Well, great video as usual, gents. Excuse me. All the weekly alpha. Great advice in that video as well. I'm certainly stacking all of my daily rewards to use for the pre-seed contract. Very much looking forward to that, and always a pleasure to have you on. Did you guys have any closing statements, or should we open it up to some questions from the community?
No, I think open it up.
Awesome. Anybody got any questions or comments for our resident crypto badgers this week?
I got a comment. It was absolutely wonderful. Positive. I think it helped too. I think it was perfect timing, guys, right? To have that comeback. So you had content there to show, and I think overall show the positive that's happening. I think you did an amazing job at that. So I think it was a great team effort there.
Yeah, thank you. Look, at the end of the day, we report things how they are. So the facts remain that these last few days have seen a significant improvement in the health of the overall system. So that's really great to see. And well done to all those syndicate leaders out there who continue to pound the pavement and who've rolled up their sleeves, in particular in these last few days when the projects really needed it.
Absolutely. I put the egg timer on for Sunday. I said, by Sunday, we need to have a really good shift here, because the weekend review over there on the Crypto Badgers YouTube channel it has to, like always, end in a positive note with, I think, a lot to look forward to. So I'm very happy with that because, you guys report the facts, the news, and if it was just dire straits, it's not going to be a great review. So I think you guys addressed it very well, how it went down and how we're on the comeback right now. So thank you, at least for me, very, very much. Another banger. Bullish, very bullish. And I like you showed that investor that came in, seizing the day, buying the dip. I mean, smart money always buys when everyone else is in a panic. I mean, we've seen that how many times, guys, right? They always seize the day. Okay. Any questions or comments so far, folks? I think everybody's really, really relaxed on their Sunday, sitting back, calm, cool, and collected. Glad everybody's here. Mr. Toad, you're out of the water, but I think you've got your wheel with you. Even on the beach, you took it with you.
I don't have it, but I did send it to Brad. I'm just on my phone, and it doesn't look very good, and sometimes I worry little docs on my phone when sharing my screen.
Okay. Well, you left it in the good hands of Coach Brad.
Yes, sir. Can you see the wheel?
Perfect. Very clear. Oh, I wish we would have left the I Love ARK on it. Can I make a request that we keep the I Love ARK? Like the one you did for...
I can add it to this one, of course.
Yeah. I think it would be really, really great because we all love ARK. And it came out beautiful, like artwork. So, Coach Brad, maybe it's somebody's first time here on the podcast and they want to understand, how does this work? How do they get involved? How much money gets paid out every day?
Well, this, Atlas, is what we call the Wheel of the Toad. It is the all aboard session wheel. And what this is the way that we as at ARK help to support the communities that go out and are waving the flag for ARK on various different social media platforms, whether it's YouTube or Twitter or Medium. We try to help push the algorithm to get the more likes, views, subscribers, claps, and just to improve their channel all round. So this is the sweep widget link that gets posted in the main chat, in the announcement channel, and in the contest channel. And all you have to do to get involved is click on the sweep widget link. There will be various different tasks on a list. You click one of the tasks. It might be, for example, to like this YouTube video from the Crypto Badgers, and you click the link. It will take you directly to the piece of content, and you just do the task, drop the like, come back, and then move on to the next one. The whole process takes between 3 to 5 minutes. It's really quick and really easy. And then you get entered on a daily basis, every single day, for a couple of minutes of your time onto this wheel. And the winner of this wheel, live drawn here on the podcast every night, wins between 50 to 100 BUSD. And I believe tonight is 100 BUSD again. It's been 100 BUSD for about a week now. It comes down to how many live participants we have in the podcast. So you're in for a chance to win a great prize for a couple of minutes work that helps yourself, the content creators, and the entire community. So it really is, as I like to say, a no-brainer. Anyone that isn't involved in this, we do ask that you get involved. We are a community-driven project, and it just helps every aspect of ARK. So please and thank you very much. If you are ready to draw, sir, whenever you give the countdown.
On the count of 3, my friend. 2, 1.
Good luck, everyone. 0 Zio Frois, congratulations. You have won. It's 100 BUSD today. It says 50, but it's 100 BUSD. Congratulations, sir. Fantastic.
Let's go. Sheesh.
And we had 66 participants today. So we can do a lot better than that, guys. It is Sunday. So I understand not everyone's available, but we can do better. 66 is good, but we need to double, triple, quadruple, and 10x that. We really do. So thank you to all the people that are doing that and getting involved, and the people that aren't, please do, and you'll have another chance to win tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic, brother. Thank you so much, Coach Brad. And let's go and release the beast that is the Spark Prize. Are we ready? Anybody out there ready? Anybody hyped? Is it their day to win the Spark?
Well, the Spark reward before I don't think it's been below 600 for a while now. It's really starting to crank up every day.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and make this happen. Give me a second here as we shift on over to the Sparky. Hold on. See the screen, sir?
We can, but we can see the $1 billion studio, not the Spark screen.
Perfect. Thank you. That's coming in right now. Bear with me.
We can see the Spark screen now, sir.
Fantastic. Just as planned. We have a little bit of a different music today. Let's sit back, enjoy, and draw the spark. Come here, Sparky. Bear with us, folks. We're still here doing the Spark. Mr. Z, are you there, sir?
Yeah. Should I do a little DeFi session?
Yeah, I'm having a connection issue here with the network.
No worries, man.
Let's give it one more chance. We had to add some gas to the contract, but let's see. I don't want to keep everybody waiting. Kind of simulate.
We're all holding our breath.
Yeah, I think it's going to work. Hold on. I think we got it set. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's connecting now.
In the meantime, could you provide us the track name to that song? It was very soothing.
Oh, relaxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, transaction went through. Let me see here. Processing. Yeah, we're going to get our Sparky out of the way. There it is, folks. And the winner, their wallet ends in 8800. They've won 616.47 ARK. That's a street value of 1,722.23 cents of a dollar. They are first-time winner. Congratulations to the Sparky winner today. Stacking up that ARK, going into Nitro mode, 2% NDV, folks. And the MVP, their wallet ends in B4AF. They've won 68.50 ARK. That's a street value of $191.36. Let's go. Thanks for your patience, folks. And yes, I'll send that over to you, Mr. Z. It is all yours. The DeFi session time.
Let's go. Let me share my screen now. Yeah, there's a bunch in the news, but I'm going to be as quick as possible because I have endless meetings. But there's been some really cool updates in DeFi and in the world overall. So the first thing I want to quickly tackle, first thing, Mistletoe or Alice, are you able to see my screen?
Well, let me check, sir.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Perfect. So the first thing I want to touch is Tornado Cash. So what's happened is so when you have something as big as Tornado Cash and it's sort of a governance, this is showing you the explicit nature of a DAO governance. And this is what happened to Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash is currently in the attacker's custody right now, and could be a thing of the past in the next few days. So what happened? So I'm going to read through a little bit and then I'll kind of break it down. So attacker hijacks Tornado Cash governance via malicious proposal. The total control over Tornado Cash governance allows the attacker to withdraw all of the locked votes, drain all of the tokens in the governance contract, and brick the router. A vote was sort of classified on Tornado Cash, and through I think receiving over 700,000 legitimate votes, the attacker was able to take full control of the governance of Tornado Cash. So on May the 20th, an attacker successfully granted 1.2 million votes to a malicious proposal. Given that the proposal received more than 700,000 legitimate votes, the attacker gained total control over Tornado Cash's governance. So then we had Samson, who basically broke down how the proposal took full control. So he goes, once the proposal was passed by voters, the attackers simply used the emergency stop function to update the proposal's logic to grant themselves the fake votes. The total control over Tornado Cash governance allows the attacker to withdraw all of the locked votes, drain all of the tokens in the governance contract, and brick the router. At the time of writing, the attacker simply withdrew 10,000 votes as torn and sold it all. The attacker comes as a reminder to crypto investors to vet proposal descriptions and logic. An active community of Tornado Cash who goes by the name of Tornadosaurus Hex or Mr. Tornadosaurus Hex confirmed that all funds in the governance are potentially compromised and requested all members to withdraw all funds locked in the governance. So yeah, this was a quote from the Tornado Cash community. There was an attack on the proposal this morning that you already know about. All day, another community developer and I thought about what to do, but the situation is close to hopeless. Currently, the attacker controls governance. So a former developer on Tornado Cash has been working on something called Privacy Pool version 0, and he's posted out as demo for people to try it. So a former Tornado Cash developer is reportedly working on building a new crypto mixing service from scratch, which addresses a critical flaw existing in Tornado Cash. So that's the unfortunate events of Tornado Cash right now. It's currently under the attacker's control, and even though the individual hasn't made any huge, you can say, movements of you can say transactions on the blockchain, it still is showing you the vulnerabilities of DAO governance votes and settlements. I mean, if something might sound smart, I mean, if you see the screenshot here, proposal to revert state change, a proposal solution for the attacker, which possibly might be viable in reverting the state changes that the attacker made to the contract. So when proposals are made in DAOs, and I don't know if many of you here are part of DAOs, proposals are things that happen, and it's really important to vet these sort of proposals before giving them your vote, because that's what happened at Tornado Cash. So I think this is going to be a week-long event. We're going to find out multiple updates. It's going to be like the other things like Harmony and others that we've also covered. So we will go into it in much detail through the week. I'm super interested to see how this plays out. So that's the news on Tornado Cash. Now, the other thing I want to cover is MetaMask, because someone on Twitter basically went through the terms and conditions of MetaMask and found this sort of statement under the 4.3 tax sort of jurisdiction. So each party will be responsible as required under applicable law for identifying and paying all taxes and other governmental fees and charges that are imposed on that party upon with respect to the transactions and payments under this agreement. All fees payable by you are exclusive taxes unless otherwise noted. We reserve the rights to withhold taxes where required. So someone comes out with this statement and quotes it. DeFi, decentralization is dying. So yeah, as usual, MetaMask, the company behind MetaMask Consensus, did put a statement out. So the tweet was, MetaMask does not collect taxes on crypto transactions, and we have not made any changes to our terms to do so. The tax section in our terms of service falls under the fees and payments section, and it exclusively pertains to product and paid plans offered by Consensus. Legal terminology can be complex, but it is crucial to emphasize that this section does not apply to MetaMask or any other product that does not involve sales tax. So what MetaMask are saying is this is for like subscription features and other sort of products that are in sort of the centralized realm that they offer to their customers. That's to do with them, and whatever's on MetaMask right now does not sort of give other authorities, centralized governance bodies, any sort of links into your tax reserves. So that was one FUD that MetaMask had to kind of break down, and yeah, everyone. It's something on crypto Twitter that's been talked about a little bit, and some people have different opinions. So this is what Money Printer had to say on Twitter about this. Just let me read this. Everyone blindly tweeting about MetaMask tax clause is in TOS, but not actually reading it. The tax section is in their fees and payment section, talking about products and paid plans they offer. If you buy a product from them, they can withhold taxes like sales tax for that product, just like Amazon does when you buy from them. So this is just a little preview of how quickly Chinese whispers get in Twitter. And can turn into a real like fearful states of thought. But yeah, so MetaMask did consent. The company behind MetaMask Consensus did sort of come clear with that section. So that's one thing out of the bag. Let's continue. This week has been awesome. I mean, I need to still watch a bunch of these statements, but Bitcoin conference did take place. And you did have a presidential candidate, John F. Kennedy Jr., do a keynote speech for 30 minutes. It's something I need to watch, and so did Michael Saylor. So these are two conversations. I've basically, if you guys go into DeFi links, I've posted both the keynotes in DeFi links if you guys want to go and check that out. But the key terms that were made here are the following. So this was what. So when I'm reading this out, Robert F. Kennedy's talking about the trucker strike that took place in Canada earlier last year. So we live. So this is what he said. He goes, "We live in a time now that technology has dangerously expanded the capacity for governments and corporations to control our lives." Kennedy said, "Distant, impersonal, multinationals and authoritarian technologies are usurped realms of human activity that were once private or held by the community." So now he's talking about COVID mandate, and he's talking about the trucker strike here. So he goes, "When I witnessed this cataclysm, this devastating use of government repression, I realized for the first time how free money is as important to freedom as free expression." During this keynote address, Kennedy took aim at President Joe Biden's proposed 30% tax on energy use for Bitcoin miners, saying it would require an invasive surveillance apparatus to monitor miners' energy usage. Initially introduced in the White House 2024 budget, the Biden administration called for a 30% crypto mining tax, saying that crypto mining consumes almost as much energy as 50,000 gigawatts of electricity as television and home computers in 2022. It sets a terrible precedent in which everything that you do that requires electricity must now be monitored by the government. So then he continued. He goes, "As president, I will make sure that your right to hold and use Bitcoin is inviolable and will defend the rights of self-custody. I don't think the government has the right to demand access to your Bitcoin key or indeed any of your passwords. To say otherwise is to cede essential territory to the surveillance. The whole point of Bitcoin is that it's decentralized. Anyone can run a node, and it's important not only for Bitcoin but for democracy to be decentralized." So big statements made by Robert F. Kennedy there. and I can't wait to watch the Bitcoin conference keynote, his keynote, Michael Saylor's keynote, and a few others. So hope you guys find that insightful there. Let me see if I have anything else. I think I've covered everything for today. But yeah, I think that concludes the DeFi session. So yeah, do check out the DeFi links, and you can check out these keynotes. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Z. That was a great presentation. Wow, you took us around the globe with a lot of things that are happening.
That's how we do.
Amazing. All right, you still have your screen sharing, Mr. Z. There we go. Thank you, sir. And we want to thank everyone that's come out today to the podcast. We're going to stay for a little bit of Q&A when we finish the recording. Fantastic Sunday, very relaxing. The confidence is back. I see a lot of folks that are just calm, cool, and collected. Great work to everyone that participated here in this rally. It's not over. Do not think for a minute, folks, that if we let off the gas, that we're going to maintain this price level or continue our way back up through the comeback. We all need to continue to participate. Let's get our friends. Let's get the folks out there. James at the water cooler. He loves to buy dips. He was too afraid to do so, but this is the time for everyone to keep doing what they're doing because it's absolutely working. Tomorrow's Monday. I think we have to go all in, as we like to say. Let's ape in here, folks, and let's get to where we want to get to. This is really up to us, the community, all the investors here to continue on this path. For the folks who are listening, we want to thank you also for your participation. I know you guys are rallying as well. You bought that dip. You're continuing. You want to reach the levels that everybody else wants to get to here. Very excited for the next couple of days as we're going to be giving you more information as we're really finding the best absolute way to get you all involved in the ArkNet. Take away pressure from the ILC. Let it grow. Let price appreciate. And at the bare minimum, find our floor so we can continue being so sustainable. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you tomorrow.